So hello and welcome, Boulevard Club Yogis. My name's Kathy, for those of you that haven't done this class with me before. It's a restorative yoga class, so movements are slow, healing, balancing the nervous system, stepping out of the reaction to mental activity. It's a class that has a meditative mindfulness meditation component. So there are a few things that we'll need or that are good to have. So take a few moments just to gather. I've got a couple of pillows for some supports. And I've got a blanket, or it could be a towel, just something that is, you can open it up. It can be underneath your back if the floor is a little hard or cold. And it can also be folded up for support for the head, so it can actually do instead of a pillow. I'm just going to put that on my mat right now, just for something to rest my head on. We're going to start lying down. I also use a band or a strap, something that can help to us to reach for our feet. So that's it. And yeah, we're going to start the class lying down. And also, since it can be a challenge to let things settle and to move out of the attachment to mental activity or the emotional tone. So we'll do a progressive relaxation, and then I'll give you a bit of of my ideas for some focus for the class, just to get into the body. So once you lie down, have the legs and the arms outstretched long. Adjust your head so that it does feel comfortable. And we'll go through each body part or muscles and joints. I'll just specify areas that I'll invite you to engage and contract those areas. We're going to start with the right foot. So the toes start to draw towards the face. And then you might feel some action starting to come into the calf. So really squeeze whatever muscles you can feel here in the calf, around the shin, the knee. You feel something in the upper thigh. You can feel the core muscles even start to work. See if you can get a little lighter in that leg. It might float off the ground. And just squeeze and hold all of that. You might feel some tension coming in the face, in the pelvis. Just take a breath there, breathing in. And then let that leg just completely go. You can flop it a little bit. You might notice how it feels in comparison to the left leg right now. Whatever we can feel in the body is present. It's what's really happening right now. That's our aim. So let's take the left foot now and start to draw the toes towards the face. And then begin to contract and engage the muscles as best that you can find them around the ankle, the calf, the shin, around the knee, the upper thigh. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. See if that leg can get a little bit lighter, maybe some core coming in, reaching the tailbone long, and just taking a deep breath in there. Exhale, let it go. Just a sigh through an open mouth. Give that leg a little shake too. This might feel like things have evened out a little bit more, or just notice what you're feeling. Some breaths that just come naturally in between these movements. Just allow that to be. Make a fist with the right hand now. Squeeze that fist really tightly. Feel the muscles around the wrist and forearm, the elbow, upper arm, even a little bit into the shoulder, the side of the neck. Start to engage, squeeze, and hold as you breathe in there. Open the mouth and drop that arm. Just let something dissolve. Don't need to know what it is. Breathing in, and breathing out. Wave-like movement with the breath. Left hand now, squeeze a fist. Wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, neck, everything tightening here. Another breath in. Exhale, release the left arm. Taking a breath in between these movements, these contractions and releases. Bring the shoulders to the ears now. Try to kiss the earlobes with the tops of the shoulders. Gripping in around the neck, the jaw. Squeeze and hold that for one more breath in. And exhale, release. Shift through the shoulders, take a little walk. And settle in, breath just moving in and out of the belly. Let's do one more thing now. Bring all the awareness to the oval of the face. And then start to tighten, squeeze the eyes, the nose, the lips towards the nose. Bring everything to the center line. Squeeze, making that expression of something that's unpleasant, like you've just sucked on a lemon. It's hard to even breathe here. Exhale, let it go. Just open and close the jaw a couple of times and unhook from all of that. If you need to adjust your position at all so that you can be at ease now, the legs can stay long, or the feet can be on the floor with the knees coming into touch, so the feet will be a little bit wide. Arms at the sides or palms coming to meet somewhere along the torso, the belly, or the chest. After taking that couple of minutes to engage and contract so that we can inhabit the body a little more. So starting our practice now with the sound of the bell. Start by bringing awareness to the body in this resting posture, outstretched. Feeling connection with the ground, behind the head, the backs of the shoulders, behind the hips, the feet. Feeling a connection maybe with space around the front body, or feeling of the temperature of the air that's around the space. And being aware in some way of the connection amongst ourselves as we enter this practice together, collectively having an experience of embodied energy life force here, a shared experience of things that are happening in our external environment, coming up to meet with some of the things that are happening internally for each of us. Thinking, hearing, an emotional tone or flavor to this moment, resting in the body right now. Let the awareness move to sensations of breath, coming in and out. Breath, the ujjayi wave sound of breath. If you're comfortable breathing in and out of your sinus area, that's an option, but no need to force it. It doesn't have to be any particular pace or depth, but it is considered to be a soothing wave, or even a victorious breath is another description for this breath that brings more blood into the lower lobes of the lungs and floods the nervous system with that rich healing fluid, calming and bringing everything to a more neutral, regardless of the content of the mind. Invite you to let your attention rest at the tip of the nose, just to see if you can feel some cool air moving in and warm air moving out. The breath is a way to anchor the mind, or give it something, a spot, an object for focus. Doesn't mean that we stay there at all, but just that we can gently, with curiosity and friendliness, return our attention here to the tip of the nose. I've been reading, to open and close my classes this week, a poem from Rumi that has resonated with me. So it may or may not resonate with you, but we'll just open up the field of hearing to take it in. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows and violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. She may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever or whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Just returning the awareness to the sensations of the body resting in this posture, or the breath at the tip of the nose. Or this is a practice, so for you, it may be the sound is a better anchor. As we move really slowly and find our minds wandering, just to have something a flagpole of sorts to put your flag on. Let's just take a stretch, and inhale. And just lengthen out, just like a good morning stretch, walking the feet from side to side, the arms reaching one at a time, a little longer. Any sorts of movements here to feel into the obliques, those muscles along the sides of the body, some tension maybe in the hips. And then bring the knees in towards the chest and let the tailbone reach long, so the lower back keeps its length. Hug the knees in with the tailbone long, and then let the knees move away a little bit on the inhale. And then exhale, hug the knees in, tailbone reaches long or even presses to the floor. Knees reach away a little, inhale. Then exhale, hug the knees in. And start to open the knees, hands can support. And do some big circles, bringing the knees back in and then open. Just notice what the direction is that you're moving in here. As you go around the circle, feeling into sensations in the back, a little bit of a massage in the hips. And then changing direction. So we'll do a little bit of sequencing of movement and repeating these things a few times, so the mind can be at rest. Let's bring the feet to the floor now. And walk the feet a little wide. So have the knees come into touch and the feet be about mat's distance apart. And take the arms in an A-frame at your sides, or you can open them wider, like wings or a cactus shape, whatever feels comfortable in the upper back. Just reaching again the tailbone long between the thighs. And start to let the right knee travel over towards the right. Coming up a little bit off the left hip, so your left knee can drop down. You come to the edge, the big toe edge of your left foot, and start to nod the chin down towards the left side of your chest. Allow the weight of gravity just to come in here, letting the hips stay heavy, but keeping a little bit of a core or that length of tailbone kind of swooping down towards the bottom right corner of the mat. Taking the breath in and out at the tip of the nose and feeling the sensations along the left side of the hips and ribs and the descending colon on this side. And then left knee will start to lift up, right knee can follow. You can let the knees come in again to touch, just level out the pelvis there, shift through the shoulders again, maybe bounce a little bit, your hips, take a breath in. And then exhale, let the knees track to the left. So left knee starts, right knee follows. Just the weight of the legs, so we're not striving here at all. The knees could be closer together if this feels like tension in the low back. Baby toe edge of the left foot, so of the right foot. So the sole of the right foot is exposed. That's the big toe edge of the right foot, and the baby toe edge of the left foot are pressing into the ground. Nodding the chin over the right shoulder. And just following 2 breath cycles there. Up along the right side of the torso and the hip. Maybe some tenderness. Seeing what visitors are present. Bring the right knee back up, inhale. Left knee follows, and then exhale, let the knees come into touch again. So we roll the inner thighs to center, so the low back can widen out again. Once more, inhale there. And exhale, walk the feet now so that they're hips distance apart. And wiggle the fingers down towards the heels. Bring the heels in pretty close to the seat. And start some pelvic rocking, forward and back, forward and back. Low back presses to the floor. Tailbone peels up without lifting the hips. And then tailbone roots towards the floor so you feel some space underneath the low back. And rocking through the exhale, presses the low back. Feet press, and then the inhale, tailbone draws towards the ground. Exhale, low back presses. Inhale, tailbone rocks forward and down. Exhale, press low back. And then press into the feet and lift the hips, not too high, just coming into a drawbridge shape. Take a breath in there. And then lower the hips on the exhale. Just breathe in there. Press the low back down again. Exhale. Inhale, come to that drawbridge shape, reaching the knees long, and stay for an exhale. Let's take one more breath. And then exhale, lower down. Let's repeat that again. Tailbone rolls to the ground. Exhale, presses the low back. Hips lift up. Maybe you come up a little higher to see how the back is feeling, and stay for the exhale. Lifting a little bit higher on the inhale, just puffing up a bit, chin to chest, and exhale, roll it all the way back down. So make sure you don't have too much support underneath the head as we Continue on, rolling hips forward. Let's do a couple more times, just moving through with your breath. Let the breath inhabit. Might not be, you don't have to follow my cues. Just enjoying the breath as you roll up and down. Let's say go through that one more time through some sort of a circuit, engaging core, and then lifting hips, staying a little patient at the top, rolling it all the way back down, and then drawing the right knee in towards the chest and give it a squeeze. Left leg can stay as it is with the foot on the floor, or left leg can lengthen out. Windshield wiper the knee side to side on that right leg. Circling in a little bit or finding some sensation in that front hip flexor. Massage the lower back. Be rocking a little side to side, exploring. Just going through this first sequence nice and slow. Let's press the right heel up towards the ceiling to inhale. And then point the toes on the exhale. I like to bend my left leg again so my low back has more space, and then press the heel up, inhale. And point the toes like you're making a fist on the exhale. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, point. And then hug that thigh in again. Give it a squeeze there. Let's straighten out the left leg and straighten out the right leg. Meet with the arms long, the legs long for a big full body stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Let's hug the knees in, lengthening the tailbone. Just for one breath. Place the feet on the floor, fingertips down towards the heels. Inhale there. Exhale, low back presses. Repeating the circuit for the second side. Float the hips up on the inhale. Exhale, just drop a little bit. Float once more, inhale. And then exhale to roll it back down, connecting all along the spine. Breathe in at the bottom. Exhale, left thigh comes in towards the chest, and just pause there. Might make some space to stretch the right leg out, or you can keep that knee bent. And then just swish and swipe that thigh bone left to right. And support the thigh with both hands, or just the one hand, your left hand, your free hand, to do a few side to side and circling movements, rocking across the lower back. Hug that thigh in one more time. Exhale, pumping the digestive organs, and then left heel to the ceiling. I'm bending my right knee again. You can hold the leg, or just with your hands behind the hamstring, or just let it float up there. And then point the toes, exhale, and flex the heel up, inhale. Point, exhale, squeeze, make a fist. Inhale, flex the heel up. Squeeze fist, exhale. And then reach, heel up, inhale. Hug that thigh in again. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. A little over to the left side of the rib cage. And right leg can stretch out again. Left leg comes down. Stretch the entire body out. Big inhale. Exhale, hug both knees in. And give it a squeeze, tailbone long. Let's bring the feet to the floor now and inhale. We're going to go through that circuit again, just to follow along with breath, low back presses. Inhale, floats the hips up. Stay for the exhale. Once more, the hips floating into space, and then roll all the way back down on the exhale. Just bring the right knee in towards the chest and give it a squeeze. And then press the right heel up to the ceiling. Inhale. Let's just do one, point the toes, exhale. And then inhale, press the heel up. Just add a circle of that ankle, moving around one direction on the inhale and the other direction on the exhale. Hug that knee in again for a squeeze, exhale. Left leg long, right leg long, and inhale, full body stretch. Hug thighs in, exhale, lengthen tailbone. Inhale, bring feet back to the floor. Just take a breath there. Exhale, low back drops. Hips float up on the inhale. And stay, exhale. Inhaling to fill. Exhale to roll down. Breath in at the bottom. Left thigh comes in, exhale, squeeze. Right away, inhale that heel to the sky. Just one circuit through of point the toes, exhale. Inhale, press the heel up. And then circle the ankle, one way breathing in, and the other way breathing out. Thigh hugs in again, exhale. Right leg lengthens out, inhale. Left leg meets the right leg, full body stretch. Inhale there. Exhale, both knees in. Rocking side to side, hands on tops of the knees for a few circles. Stirring the knees on the ceiling and getting into the lower regions of the spine. Let's place the feet on the floor. So if you do have a band, a strap, a scarf, a sock, a belt, anything that will allow you to have a wrap around your right foot. Once you find that, coming onto the back to reach the heel up again. I'm going to keep my left foot on the floor and then plug that thigh bone, right thigh bone back in towards the chest. And then press like you're pressing on the gas pedal. Inhale and then exhale. Draw that knee in. Press the leg maybe going a little more forward on a diagonal if the hamstring's tight. That's okay. And then exhale, bring the thigh in. This time, reach the leg up. Take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Let your left hip be nice and heavy. You can use your left hand to just rest against the top of the hip so it stays on the ground. And let your upper right femur bone externally rotate. So still the heel will stay sort of in line with your spine, but you can see your toes are turning out. From there, slowly open up that leg a little bit, moving the inner thigh away from center. I can use my right elbow on the ground as a break here, so the leg doesn't just flop out to the side. Just keeping the pelvis in a neutral position, so you feel some recruiting of the core muscles. Your left knee could just open up as well, so that'll provide you with a bit of a counterbalance. Or you can stretch your left leg out and breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring that leg back up to center. Nice. So take both ends of that strap into the left hand. And if for sure you might have a little bend in your right knee, let the right arm reach away from the shoulder. It can be down towards the hip or more towards the side coming out of the shoulder, and take the right leg across the center line, just a few inches, and pause. Left leg can be straight, or you can bend it and let it kind of fall into center. So you'll have a scissoring, kind of squeezing the inner thighs together. So we can help to give a little more ease to the low back. Something in the outer right hamstring happening. Notice what happens with the breath. If it gets shallow, speeds up, maybe leaning in a little too hard. Let's come back up with that leg. Inhale. And then bend that knee in towards the chest. Exhale. Let's lose the strap. If you have a pillow that you can bring in, or two, or blocks, whatever you have in your space, over on the left side of your mat. Going to shift the hips over towards the right. Let the left leg relax, and then with your left hand, guide the right knee over in the direction of that pillow or support. Might need a tower of things, or to adjust, you can use the pillow and blanket. Or both knees can bend and the pillow can squeeze between the thighs. We want to set up so we can have a lot of ease here. Letting the right arm open in some fashion. And the right shoulder wants to be heavy towards the ground, or letting the arm be lower down by the hip. Just checking in with the neck, just rocking that a little left and right. And if it's comfortable for you to look out over the right shoulder, we'll stay here for, let's say, a minute or so. Give some time for the spine to unwind, for the digestive organs to receive some oxygen a little bit differently. Time, of course, for mental activity to make itself known, for all of those visitors to be knocking on the door. Just to keep that lightness, that friendliness and humor to whatever shows up. Letting it be. If it's helpful to return the awareness to the tip of the nose and the cool air moving in and warm air moving out. Sometimes I like to ground awareness in a simple phrase, a mantra, something just like in and out. As the oxygen comes in and the carbon dioxide moves out. Let's come back together and take a full breath in and pause. And give an extra long, empty, 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 empty. Wring out the cloth. Slowly bring your way back. Adjust your hips. Give yourself a couple of bounces of the hips or swishing of the legs in any way. Sometimes I like to give myself a kick out, shaking and jiggling the legs, trying to incorporate some of that lymphatic system fluid flush. And as you're ready, we'll have this scarf strap or sock again for the left side. And sling your foot into that, bring the knee in towards the chest and come into a little hammock for your foot. Starting this side with fresh eyes. Maybe some different sensations. You may have an injury. Right leg is bent, for me at least to start. I've had some low back pain these days, so sometimes the sitting or just the different ways of going about our activities these days. Just press up through the heel. And then bend the knee a lot, exhale, and press and lengthen behind the back line of the leg. Knee hugs in, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. The descending colon on this side, getting a massage as that knee comes in. And press it out. Let's just stay there. We'll let the toes turn outward now, and that action is coming from the upper thigh, revolving. Heel is still in line with the rib cage, so the leg hasn't moved out to the side, just the toes. Both ends of that strap in the left hand now. Right hand on the right side of the pelvis. Left leg moves open a little bit. Toes towards the back left corner of the space. Maybe drop the right knee open so that you have some symmetry across the back of the pelvis, or stretch the right leg out. Any gripping in the low back, just take it back a notch. Check in on sensations that you're feeling right now. When we can feel sensations, we're present. Pretty simple, but challenging. Mind wants to be planning something for later, or gripping around some future worry, concern. Bring that leg back up. Here and now. So take the strap ends in the right hand. You can straighten out the right leg or just let it scissor into center with the knee bent, and start to let the left leg draw towards the right now. Use a little bit of a tug on the strap. And reach the left arm away from the body and press the palm there to give yourself a little bit of a counter pull. So it just feels like length and space coming along the outside of that left thigh. Some breaths with a little bit of depth here, in and out through the nose if that's comfortable. Let's bring the leg back up now and bend the knee in towards the chest for a squeeze. I'm going to shift so we set ourselves up for the twist on the second side. Pillow or two over on your right side. Letting the right leg relax and bringing the left knee, shin to rest on those supports. It's a little more like you're lying on your right side body. But if you're way up on your left, off your left shoulder, might need a bit more support. You might need both knees bent and pillow between the thighs. Adjust through the rib cage. Like to rest the right hand on the left thigh. Then rocking the head. If your left shoulder is down and you can, feel some ease in nodding the back of the skull, left and right, left and right. Settle your gaze. Once you're in the pose, coming to stillness in your shape, but receiving the breath that is always dynamic. I think for us to do, the breath is fully alive, flushing and ringing out. Doesn't matter how many times the mind wanders, each time you notice is a victory. And start over. And if for some of us, breath is not a source of comfort, that's okay. Just let the attention be on sound or on sensations in the body. Let's take the last breath in a little bit deeper and longer and hold it at the top. And then slowly deflating the balloon. Nice. And back through on the inhale. Moving the props. Making any movements that feel soothing right now. We're going to make our way over to one side as a transition to coming up to sit for a little bit. Well, actually, we'll pause on the side and come to the hands and knees. So take a moment there. As you're ready, coming to the hands and knees. So if you need a little more padding underneath the knees, you can bring that in. Maybe that flat blanket. Take the hands a little further ahead of the shoulders and make a few big circles with the hips. You can let the shoulders move forward and back, kind of sticking your seat out behind. You can feel like you're cleaning out the insides of a jam jar. And let the head, neck, and shoulders go. Hips tip a little bit forward. Might have some curiosity on the direction that you're moving in. And then change direction. Can incorporate any other types of shapes. So you might feel like tipping the hips forward with a little bend at the elbows for an upward facing dog. So some extension. And then coming back to flexion, sending the seat back a little. Inhale to shift forward. And exhale to come back towards a child's pose. And once more, inhale. And exhale. And take the knees a little wide, send some weight back towards the heels. You may be sitting right back towards the heels, or you may prefer more of a hips lifted posture, an extended child's pose, but just to give some ease for the spine here. To connect with the back body. Flood some oxygen three-dimensionally through the front, back, and sides. And let's walk it up. Fist or fingertips, walk the hands in pretty close to the knees and squeeze the shoulder blades together now for a cow shape. And then exhale to peel it into a cat, chin to the chest. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. And so we'll come to find a comfortable seat from there. Might be sitting in a chair, or you can sit up on a prop or a pillow. Make sure that there's some space for the spine, so it's not getting compressed. Let's work a little bit into the neck. Sitting in a chair on the edge of the couch is just fine. I just don't have a lot of furniture in this room. Let's just do a few circles of the shoulders out. Breathing in to lift and breathing out to squeeze the shoulders back. It's a simple movement. Sometimes take for granted this thoracic spine. And changing direction. So back with the elbows and then up and around and down. It can be a small circle, or you can bring in the arms to it, whatever you like. Let's take a little twist to the right. And just a ring out, and then inhale, center, and a little twist to the left. Inhale, center. Do that a couple times. You can use your hands to catch on to any body parts here to help stay tall. Inhale, and a little swing to the left. Might be holding onto the sides of your chair. One more time each side. And through center, dropping the right ear to the right shoulder and pressing the left palm away. Nod the chin down so that you're gazing just over that right shoulder for 3, 2, and 1. Just drop the chin down towards the chest. You can relax the left arm at your side or in your lap again. Chin is just slightly down towards the right, and then lift the chin on a diagonal towards the ceiling. You can stretch the eyes as well. And then tip of the nose down towards the floor, chin to chest on the right side. Trace with the tip of the nose on a diagonal towards the ceiling. One more time, dropping it down. And then travel through center, pause, looking down. And then bring the left ear along to line up with the left shoulder, just feeling that to start. Can increase the sensation in the right side of the neck by pressing the right palm away, making a fingers to ceiling kind of action. Lighting up all alongside the right side of the neck. Drop the gaze now over the left shoulder. And then just slightly down towards the chest on the left side. You can relax your right arm and let it dangle perhaps or rest in your lap. Tip of the nose towards the ceiling on a diagonal, just over on that left side and then down. Tip of the nose to the ceiling. And exhale, tip it down. And once more, inhale. And exhale down and through center again. Pause. Just do a couple circles on your own, either half circles through, or you can do a bigger circle. Let's come back to center and open the jaw really wide. And just move it around, making some faces. Bring your lips together, but take your tongue and kind of poke it into the sides of your mouth. Over in the, it's hard for me to talk, but just pressing it into all the different regions that you can reach to unlock the jaw and the tongue. This helps with the neck tension too. So top and bottom, right side, left side. And then stick the tongue way out. And then curl it back in. Try to have it at the roof of your mouth, going back towards your tonsils. Stick it out. Curl it back in. Again, hard for me to talk. So sticking the tongue out and then kind of rolling it back towards the tonsils. Couple more times. Lots of muscle here. And then just rest and see if the tongue just a little more naturally might fall away from the roof of the mouth where it gets stuck. Exhale, release. So let's come off of that support. Let's do one more pose with the props. So this is a heart opening posture, restorative, supportive. So you can use a couple of pillows, or I've got a blanket here. Just going to fold it up a couple of times. So it acts as a little bit of a shelf. I'm going to lie that down on my mat in an area that's going to be between my shoulder blades. Sometimes we do this with blocks at the club. And then another pillow for the head. You definitely want the head to be a little bit higher than the heart. If you have other pillows and things or a bolster that you want to bring in for underneath your thighs, you can do that. So it's kind of like a babbling brook. So I'll come down and I'll take that support just behind the shoulder blades, not so much into the lower back. It's mostly in the upper back, and then adjust the height of the pillow behind the head. When we do this with some mindfulness, it can be pretty sweet. Let the legs release over that. This is where you need the yoga genie to come in and put a blanket over top of yourself as well. So it's gotta feel really pretty great, or it's just not worth it. So if you prefer just to be resting on your back in any other way, that's fine too. It's comfortable for you to close the eyes here. Actually, let's take the hands and rub them together just to build up some heat as a way to then offer that to the face and the eyes and to all the workings of the brain and all those muscles in the face that we use when we're looking at a screen. So just rest the palms somewhere over the face, the eyes, feel the heat and connection there, and the healing that we can bring just by simply coming into contact energetically with ourselves. All of the body parts and systems interacting and responding to our optimum well-being. Rest the arms at the sides now, or on your torso, wherever they want to land. As you come into rest here. And if you're comfortable in this shape with the props, just stay through the next few minutes of complete rest and digest. Very, very challenging for the mind, but it's worthwhile. I'll read the poem aloud one more time as you rest. Just to bring us back to where we started. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whomever and whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Resting, observing or feeling the breath at the tip of the nose. Awareness here of the entire body, your structure, shape, and the support coming up to meet it. Aware of thinking or emotional tone. And just allowing that to be okay to feel this. If you have time and wish to stay longer, or you're watching the recording later before bed, want to drift off, perfect. Otherwise, at the sound of the bell, we'll reunite and start to move a little bit. Rolling the tongue around the surface of the teeth, Maybe how you yawn or a stretch if you feel like that. If you're a little more low-key, then just subtle movements, wiggling the fingers and toes. Coming over to one side, spending a little bit of time there and appreciating, summoning some gratitude for this body, mind, being here right now. Present, alive, vibrant. Moving on to sit, and to let the hands come to rest in the lap or connect at the heart. Connecting with the self and connecting across the airwaves with each other here at the club and with others in our neighborhood beyond our borders. Dedicating our practice to in some way impact others in a positive way as well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings have ease and be well. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Candace.